We've examined a lot of ways in which COVID-19 was used against the American people, that bureaucratic processes were put in place to restrict the freedom of movement and freedoms in general for the American people. But I want to highlight something that I think is very essential to the preservation of our republic, and that's the right to vote. During COVID-19, processes by unelected bureaucrats were put into place to restrict the right of people to vote freely, that things were changed contrary to a state legislature, that secretaries of state were allowed to do things within their state to change the way in which people voted. And of course, a lot of that has been challenged. And despite, and quite frankly, when you look at what was changed, this was despite public health officials saying that in-person voting was completely safe. So, Ms. Dillon, I want to turn to you. To what extent did COVID-19 serve to change the election processes in this country in the lead up to the election?
Well, thank you for the question, Congressman. COVID-19 was used as an excuse by mainly Democrat lawmakers to one-way ratchet down the election integrity that we enjoy as Americans. For example, you just referred to the way that voting should be safe. Well, if masks worked and social distancing worked and we were all required to observe those measures, why couldn't we have voted in person using those measures just like we all went to the grocery stores and did our other business that way?
Ms. Dillon, how do you think Congress can work to one, prevent that from ever happening again, but two, to be part of the solution to roll back some of those policies? Because again, I agree with you, and in fact, some cases, Trump v. Booker in Pennsylvania, some courts have come in and stepped in and said that these secretaries of state, that these boards of elections have stepped too far. So to what extent can Congress lend to fix this problem, to make sure that it never happens again, and that we enhance that right to vote for all Americans?
Well, for the most part, sir, I actually believe that Congress should stay out of it. And H.R. 1 and other rules like that should be rejected by right-thinking people. But to the extent that Congress participates in federal elections and funds them, they should insist that the money goes to states that honor laws. We have a couple of federal laws on the books, Help America Vote Act, and other restrictions. And I think that we need to make sure that states should not spam the entire populace with ballots that aren't attached to legitimate voters like we see in California. We have, in fact, Los Angeles County in 2017 was found to have over 1 million people on the voter rolls who were not entitled to vote. They were dead, duplicates, moved, et cetera. This is wrong.